Well, Light, it's all over.
Hello guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Death Note episode 18. Guys, the last episode was insane. Light got cleared but is now cuffed to L. Misa is in his new building and they're all together trying to solve the case of Kira. We apparently have a new Kira thanks to Ram, who's actually trying to go through Light's plan that we don't know, and it's all over the place right now. So we're gonna be jumping right into this, guys, to see what the hell is happening, okay? Because the ending scene on the last episode was confusing AF. But before we start, if you enjoy my reactions, feel free to share, subscribe, like, leave a comment, ring that bell for notifications, guys. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord server, and my Patreon page. And without further ado, let's jump right into this reaction. Let's go, man. The title is Ally. Okay. That's a garage. Is that the new building that Al built and paid for, apparently, because he's Batman? Okay, retinal scan. That's a lot of security. Belt.
What now? Well, looks like this system's gonna take some getting used to. Fine. How's this, huh? Good morning.
Bruh, okay, this new building is secure AF. L really wasn't holding any punches here. So they're confined in this vault to make sure they're safe from Kira. Like, this is a lot.
What's wrong? Did you get hurt? Oh, this? Kind of. I had a little fight with my wife, and it's just that my daughter's still young, and I'm hardly ever at home as it is.
Okay.
Oh, yes. It's probably best if you sleep at home. Well, you're gonna be missing out. The rooms in this place are amazing. If I were you, I'd just move the whole family in here.
But that's also kind of dangerous.
That's easy for you to say as a bachelor.
Yeah.
Where are they? Oh, they're on a date. Last we checked, all of them were up in Misa's room.
The three of them?
Surveillance cameras, huh? Well, since we know Misa has some connection to the second Kira, I guess it does make sense. But for God's sake, Masato, would you stop with his Misa crap? Yeah, sure.
Man, this has got to be the lamest date I've ever been on.
No, please, just pretend I'm not even here, okay? By the way, are you gonna eat that piece of cake?
Cake makes you fat. I'm not gonna eat any.
Actually, I found that you don't gain any weight as long as you burn calories by using your brain.
So now you're calling me stupid?
No, he's calling you blonde.
Fine then. I'll give you the piece of cake as long as you agree to leave me and Light alone.
Even if I leave you two alone, I'm still gonna be watching on surveillance
True,
cameras.
true.
It wouldn't make any difference.
You pervert! Did you stop it with your creepy hobby?
You can call me whatever you like. Last chance for cake.
He doesn't care.
Okay then. I'll just close the curtains and turn off the lights.
We have infrared cameras in here as well.
What's wrong with you? I thought moving here was supposed to help us catch Kira. But since we've been here, you don't seem all that motivated to me.
Not motivated. You're right. Actually, I'm depressed.
Depressed? What for?
Well, truthfully, all this time I thought that you were Kira, and my entire case hinged on that fact. I guess I just can't get past the fact that my deduction was wrong.
Oh.
Although having said that, I'm still suspicious of you.
Yeah, he's still...
That's why we're wearing these. And we also know that Kira can control people's actions. Which means it's highly likely that Kira was controlling your actions so that I would suspect you.
Okay.
If I assume both you and Misa were being controlled by him, then everything we've observed so far makes a lot more sense to me.
Okay, but the interesting thing is that Kira is able to control a person's actions before his death. right? So this wouldn't make sense if Al knew the rules, but since he doesn't, okay. So because he doesn't know anything about this, he's assuming if somebody's able to kill out of nowhere, why not be able to control people out of nowhere as well? So yeah, I completely understand why it's so difficult for him to comprehend this. And also, yeah, he's depressed because his whole case was him, and now he's starting to doubt. I mean, he's still sus, okay? He's still suspicious of Light, but bruh,
If
this
that's what you think,
whole
Misa and I
situation.
were both Kira during the time that we were being controlled, right?
Yes, I don't think I could have been wrong about that. The two of you are Kira. If what I'm thinking is correct, when your confinement began, you were Kira. I don't believe it's coincidence that as soon as you were imprisoned, all the killings stopped. Until then, everything pointed to you being Kira. But after 2
Okay.
weeks, criminals actually began dying again.
Yes.
Based on that evidence, I can only conclude that Kira's power passes between people.
That's an interesting idea, but if it's true, it will be nearly impossible for us to catch Kira.
Actually, Light told Misa once to tell them in a message that she's gonna be teaching others how to do this. So for him to, think that it's possible, like he just said, now he arrived to that conclusion on his own now by saying that it's passable, like the power, the ability
Yes,
to
that's
kill.
why I'm overwhelmed. Even if we catch someone under his control, they'll likely lose their powers and any memory of their crimes. So in the end, pursuing them becomes futile.
But at this point, we have no
Okay.
way of knowing if that's the case. Cheer up, would you?
Cheer up? No, I'm sorry, I can't. It's probably better if I just stop trying so hard.
So he figured that
We're
out.
chasing Kira so desperately, we're just putting our lives at risk for nothing. Yes, it's just a waste of time.
Well, then what are you gonna do? You
Miyazaki.
can't give up.
Huh?
What the hell? Did he actually remember something? What the hell? Why did he hit him?
I know that really hurt.
That's enough. You don't feel like doing anything. Just because your genius deduction was wrong and I'm not Kira?
Fine, perhaps I phrased it the wrong way. I meant it would be pointless for us to make a move, so we shouldn't even
If we
bother.
don't chase Kira, he'll never be caught. Is that what you want? If you were just gonna give up, then why did you involve all those innocent people? More importantly, what was the point of putting Misa and me behind bars?
I understand. But still, whatever the reason,
Are you... Oh,
an eye for an eye, my friend.
an eye for an eye, my friend. Talion. Bruh. Al can actually fight. I was just about to say, are they really gonna let him get pummeled? Like, what, But Al was like, let me just get that foot in your face real quick. And he's barefooted too. I forgot they were cuffed. Okay, this is hilarious.
It's not my deduction that was wrong. The fact is, I can say that Nayagami is Kira, and Misa Amane is the second Kira, but it won't be enough to solve the case, and that's why I'm a little depressed.
Okay.
Is that so unreasonable?
Makes sense.
Yes, it is. Besides, you should hear yourself. It's as if you won't be satisfied unless I am Kira.
I won't be satisfied unless you're Kira. Well, there may be some truth to that. In fact, now that you mention it, you're right. I think I wanted you to be Kira.
Bruh!
As I said before, an eye for an eye. I'm a lot stronger than I look,
We've got to call the room and stop them.
Yeah!
Huh? Yes?
Ryuzaki, I've got good news. Misa is #1 in 18 Magazine's reader popularity poll.
Oh, I see.
How is that good news?
Guess this. She's gonna get a lead role in Nishinaka's next movie.
What was that?
Matsuda's acting stupid again.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is his specialty.
Wait, he actually made him stop fighting because they agreed that he's a moron.
I can hear you,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Also, one one small detail. You noticed, of course, that L eats a lot of sugar, like cake and fruits, and sugar is supposed to, like, when you're depressed and you eat sugar, it kind of helps you feel a bit better. So the fact that he's eating a lot of sugar now that he's depressed makes sense. Just a fun fact. 2 months later. It's been 2 months already?
Ryuzaki, I know you're not feeling up to it, but come over here for a second.
He's still depressed?
Take a close look at this. It can't be coincidence. All of them were prominent Japanese businessmen, CEOs whose companies are leaders in their respective industries. In just over a month, they all died of heart attacks. As expected, there's been a general downturn in the market, with the exception of Yotsuba. In other words, their deaths have worked in Yotsuba's favor. Looking back, there have been 13 similar deaths in the past 3 months. Your thoughts? Based on this, I can only conclude that Kira is supporting Yotsuba.
It could be. But if what you're saying is true, we can assume that punishing criminals is not this Kira's real intent.
This Kira's.
Punishing criminals is a diversion for him. It obscures the fact that he's actually killing people for the benefit of his company. Are you feeling a bit more motivated now?
Bara. New rules. The bar of the Death Note will not be followed by a god of death. The god of death always remains with the owner of the Death Note. Also, the bar cannot trade the eyesight of the god. So if you borrow somebody your Death Note but not relinquish ownership, your Shinigami is gonna stay with you, even though you don't have the. Okay, I did not know this. This is interesting. When the owner of the Death Note dies while the note is being lent, its ownership will be transferred to the person who is holding it at that time. So that's okay. That's a okay. I wanted to talk about, before we continue, the fact that L is not giving up on his theory that Light was Kira and Misa is the second Kira. He's just adamant in like. That's like, he's treating it like a fact. Did you hear here? He said, this Kira, this new Kira. He doesn't think this was the Kira that was Kira this entire time. No, he is adamant that was Light, and he caught him, which is true. Which is, this boy is a genius. Okay, he actually managed to do all of this right after, like, Light found a way to dispose of L by gaining Misa in her eyes. And in that split second, L did all of this, imprisoned her, then him, then, and it actually made them relinquish ownership. And now, yeah, so at least L has Light on his side. And yeah, Light found those guys. I think that was the name of the company that we saw at the ending of the last episode. And now they're killing their competition. That's what they were talking about, right? They're killing their competition in order for their, trade to skyrocket as it did, and now they're the main suspects. I mean, it seems like Kira is supporting their company, so I'm assuming the police, aka the task force, is gonna have a couple of questions for the company. This being
It's funny.
Yotsuba.
This is starting to feel too easy. Look at all we've done, and no one suspects a thing. Our stock
Not
continues
true.
to increase, but we've kept it below the radar.
Indeed. Everything appears to be proceeding according to plan.
That's true. However, there is one thing that has me concerned. Those 3 we had killed last week, why did all of them die of heart attacks? I thought we agreed one would be accidental.
You're quite right, we did. The problem was that we named a specific location in Japan. You see, he wasn't even here when he died. I hear he and his mistress were in Italy.
Oh,
Makes sense. If our request is
Impossible.
physically impossible, then Kira will kill that person using his default method. a
Okay.
heart attack.
It's just like I was saying last week. If you wanted to look believable, request accidental death or disease, and Kira will always find the quickest way to make it happen.
I'm confused. Okay, these board of directors or whatever. So the Kira is not among them, because Rem was there at the ending of the last episode, and we just saw the rule where even if you borrow the Death Note to somebody, the Shinigami is gonna stay behind its original owner. So is the new Kira in this room one of them, or is there a method for them to just tell the new Kira who they want to kill, and then I'm confused.
Anyway, given Kira's history, the police are probably still focused on the dying criminals. Quite frankly, if someone was able to trace the deaths of these people back to us, then he'd have to be a god. Besides, we've taken precautions.
Precautions?
Hey, Chief! Oh, you too, Mogi. I've got some great news. This is amazing. I'm not even sure how he figured it out, but Light has the theory that Kira is somehow involved with the Yotsuba group. Can you believe it?
Yotsuba?
Yes.
That's probably it. Good
Why
work.
is he so calm?
We just spoke with the director, and it seems Kira has offered bribes to a number of politicians. Kira made an offer. As long as the NBA agrees not to pursue him anymore, he won't lay a hand on any politicians.
Oh.
So that's that. The police caved in to him. Mogi and I have already made up our minds on this. Aizawa, Matsuda, if you wish to continue working this case, you'll have to hand in your letter of resignation to the NPA, just as Mogi and I are going to
Oh,
do.
so the police, because of politics, the police relinquish they're not gonna pursue Kira anymore. So if they want to continue pursuing Kira, they can't work for the police anymore.
Like it or not, you cannot pursue Kira as a member of the police force
Yeah.
anymore. Hold on a second,
Damn.
Chief. They made it quite clear. If you continue to work with L, you'll be fired.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
that's
So then, Chief, you're gonna...
In a few hours, I'm no longer going to be your chief.
But
However,
how are they
we
gonna
all
live?
have our own lives, so think it over carefully.
Yeah,
That's true, Chief. Especially if you've got a family to support.
exactly. How are you gonna support your family? We know for a fact this guy has a family. So how are you gonna support your family if you're not getting paid for this? Like you're risking your life for the betterment of mankind, but you're not getting paid. You're just, not many people are like Al that can buy buildings. Like, yeah, he's shocked.
If you want my opinion, you'd be better off as police officers. I was alone when I started this case, and although I'm grateful to all of you for staying with me as long as you have, I know that I can do this by myself.
Oh,
I'll be sure to visit you at the department and bring you Kira's head as a reward for all that you sacrificed.
Ryuzaki, as long as I'm alive, you won't be working alone. You have my word on that.
well,
That's
true.
right.
There's no need for
I'll have
these
Light
guys.
working with me until I catch Kira.
I mean, honestly, these detectives, all due respect to them, they hadn't done much. They're basically lackeys, and Light and L are the ones that are actually thinking. So, okay, maybe Light's dad should stay, but the rest of them can pretty much go back to their normal lives
So I won't be alone after all.
and not risk it.
But as I said, I think the rest of you should remain as police
Yeah.
officers.
But when you first contacted us, you said that you would need the help of the police in order to solve this case.
That's because the police as an organization were still hoping to arrest Kira. They weren't bowing to him. Besides, with all due respect, there's a big difference between the help of 2 or 3 civilians and the police as an organization.
True.
On Anju's side, the police have made their position clear. They don't want to catch Kira, so let's just leave it at that.
Well, I suppose what you're saying makes sense. If we're not police officers anymore, we won't be of much use to you.
Yeah.
However, we're all personally involved in this. All of us have risked our lives to catch Kira.
True, man.
Doesn't that give us the right to decide whether we stay here or return to the police force?
Good point. Then by all means, please make your decision.
Okay, he's fair at
But
least.
Chief, wait. If you quit your job with the police force, you'll be unemployed. Even if we do catch Kira, what are you gonna do after that?
Yeah, man. It's not
After
easy.
that, I hadn't really thought of it, but I suppose after we catch Kira, I'll have to dust off my resume.
What?
Count me in! I'm gonna quit the police and chase Kira too, Chief! And I still have my job as Misa's manager. Besides, if I stayed on as a police officer, I'd feel like a total loser.
Think before you open your mouth, Matsuda.
Yeah, because the rest of them might stay as a police officer. And he just called them losers. Bruh, come on, man. Come on, man. Think before you open your mouth. What he said.
Is there any way I could still keep my job and help you in my spare time?
There isn't.
Yeah.
If you remain a police officer, then please don't come back.
Yeah.
Look, you know I won't leak any
I
information.
won't be sharing any of our information.
He's strict.
You're free to pursue Kira on your own if you want to. But I don't think it's fair to your families to burden them by giving up your livelihood just to continue this. I can't see how that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's as Ryuzaki says. No one here is going to blame you for quitting.
For your own good, bro.
Right. We all understand why you've got to do this.
But the chief has a family too.
Also true.
Our situations are completely different.
Also true, because his son is the main suspect. Even if he can't quit this, you know? He has to be in this, involved in this, because of his son, man. There's nothing holding you here. Go take care of your family. Man,
Damn it. Leave now after all we've been through. I said I was prepared to die if that's what it took to catch him, and I meant it. What kind of friend would I be to Ukita if I quit now? I became a detective so I could catch the bad guys, not run away!
true.
Ryuzaki, early on in the investigation, you specifically told me that if a task force member were to lose their job under any circumstances, I should make preparations
To ensure that the family's financial future was secure. If you recall, a trust was set aside for that very purpose. I'm a little curious as to why you're withholding this information. This is not the time or place, Watari.
I'm sorry.
No way. So all this time we had nothing to worry about?
Bruh.
I can't believe you did that.
Oh, so I believe he was withholding that information because he wanted to see how many would stay. Because L, like, if I learned anything about L so far, it's that he likes to test people, okay? And if you, after all these, like, against all these odds, you know, choose to stay, then that would prove to him that you really are 1000% invested in this. Okay, so Watari just made a boo-boo and ruined his plan, I
There you
think.
go, Aizawa. Isn't that great news?
He was testing them.
Ryuzaki, I assume that was some kind of test to determine how committed I was to this
Yes.
task force.
It's not like that, Aizawa. Ryuzaki's just not the type to say things directly. You should know that by now.
Yeah, that's right.
No. I was testing you.
Yeah,
I wanted to see which one you would choose.
exactly. Exactly.
Ryuzaki,
It's his nature, man. It's his nature.
fine then. If I wasn't sure before, I am now.
But Aizawa...
Let's face it, I wasn't able to decide right away like you guys. I was leaning towards going back to the police.
Come on, Aizawa. Don't be so stubborn.
No, I quit. Now I know this for sure. I've always hated Ryuzaki. I hate him and his way of doing things.
That's too bad, because I like you, Aizawa.
I also hate the way you've always got to have the last word. You insult me, now you say something like that? That's it. I'm out of here.
Thank you for everything.
Nobody likes a sore loser, bro. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was testing them. Of course he was testing them, man. Like in such a situation, you kind of pretty much need to be certain that people that are around you are the people you really need. But it was really cool of Al to set up a trust fund for everybody's families and, you know, just in case. Man, he must be really loaded. But he cares for them, man. He cares for them. Even though he doesn't seem like it, he cares for them.
I just found another one. A general manager of a bank, Yotsuba's biggest competitor. On September 7th, he slipped and fell on the front steps of his house and died. Instantly.
September the 7th was a Friday, wasn't it? After going over this again, I noticed something. All the deaths which are beneficial to Yotsuba are concentrated around the weekends.
Huh? On the weekends?
Is that when they have that summit of theirs? Is that, you know, because they did say once a week, right?
With the first few victims, the time of death appears to have been random. More recently, they all take place between Friday night and Saturday afternoon.
I'm amazed that you even noticed
Yeah.
that, Chief.
Matsuda, I thought I told you to stop calling me Chief.
I'm sorry, but you'll always be the chief to me. This is a really important clue, Dad. Nice work.
Well, you know, I can't let myself fall behind you and Ryuzaki. After all, the last thing I want is to be dead
He
weight.
is useful.
Dead weight?
Ooh,
Is Kira someone from Yotsuba?
that weight that got to him because he might feel like that weight in this room because this room is packed with brainiacs like Light, L, and Light's dad ain't no joke, man.
Or is Kira simply using Yotsuba? I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll proceed under the assumption that this is Kira's doing. We will focus on Yotsuba.
Ryuzaki, please tell me, is there anything I can do to help with the investigation besides the
He doesn't
manager
want to be
thing?
dead weight.
So you really want to
Yeah.
be useful?
Yes.
Then could you get me another cup of coffee?
Bro, that's disrespectful.
And for our guests over there as well.
What?
Who are they? Hold on a sec. Who
Yeah,
are them?
what the hell?
Those two are the newest members of the task force.
Excuse me?
The name's Ibert. I'm a con man. How's it going?
I'm Weddy, and I'm a thief by trade.
These guys look like movie stars, not gonna lie.
A con man and a thief.
However, these two have never once been caught, so it's unlikely they'll be killed by Kira. Think of them as professionals of the underworld.
I understand. To investigate Yotsuba, we're gonna need the help of people like this.
From now on, I can have a break every single week. Now I can go with you to the park. Maybe we can go to the zoo together. Or the amusement park.
He already misses them, man.
What's wrong, Dad?
But he's relieved.
Mommy, why is Daddy crying?
Bruh, honestly, L did a great thing, okay? By not telling him about the trust fund, he made him decide what he really wanted, you know? He saw how he truly feels, man. He hesitated, and so he went and stayed as a police officer, and he's no longer on the task force, and now he feels... I think he feels relieved and guilty at the same time. He's like, he misses them already, but at the same time, he gets to spend all this time that he was missing with his daughter. So it's a win, you know, win-win kind of situation. Anyway, this was an interesting episode, man. And those two new additional members of the task force, a thief and a con man, they look like movie stars. And what Light's dad said, like, you're willing to work with criminals? And Elle was like, they've actually never been caught. So the fact that I know they're criminals doesn't mean they are criminals because you never caught them. So consider them as professionals of the underworld. Interesting. These episodes are getting more and more interesting, but the fact that they are closing in on the new Kira shows just how good the Light and L duo is. Like, I would have never thought they would really be working together and not trying to deceive each other. Like, Light is actually trying to help L because he can't remember that he is the real Kira. So that's interesting, but I am kind of curious about the fact that he seems like a normal, like all his morals are back, like he's this different person. So than when he had a Death Note. So did the Death Note influence him in any way? Because he does seem very different. He didn't even want to try to manipulate Misa because it goes against his beliefs, even though he had no problem doing it when he had a Death Note and, you know, the memories that he was Kira. So that's all strange to me. Honestly. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I really enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.